"Your deceit ends now," she proclaimed, holding a sacred talisman that glowed with an ethereal light. Kwame laughed. "You think you outdated magic can stop me, old woman?" A fierce battle ensued, the air cracking with energy. Kwame's dark magic clashed with Mama Nandi's sacred powers, but Mama Nandi, weakened by age and the strain of her visions, was no match for Kwame's malevolent force. With a final devastating blow, Kwame knocked the talisman from her hand and sent her crashing to the ground. Nestled deep within the mountains of Africa, beyond the reach of most travelers, lies a hidden valley named Mbingo, which means paradise. The secluded enclave is known for its lush greenery, vibrant wildlife, and the close-knit community of villagers who have lived there for generations. They led simple lives, relying on age-old traditions and the wisdom of their elders and the guidance of their king. Among the most respected individuals in the valley was the healer, a role passed down through generations, responsible for the well-being of the villagers. One day, the sun had just begun to rise over Mbingo when a stranger walked into the village. Tall and imposing, with a cloak of strange herbs and beads, he introduced himself as Kwame, a healer from a distant land. "I come with knowledge from afar," Kwame announced, his voice resonating through the village square. "The spirits have guided me to this valley to share my wisdom and heal your ailments." The villagers, curious and slightly wary, listened intently to Kwame. The valley's current healer, old Mama Nandi, had grown frail with age. Though she had served the community faithfully for decades, her failing health was a cause for concern for the villagers. So Kwame's arrival seemed like a blessing to many, especially to the younger ones who were fascinated by his tales of exotic places and powerful cures. As Kwame stood in the village square, Mama Nandi walked over to him. She walked around him and noticed that something was off about him, but she couldn't figure what it was, so she kept quiet. Quickly, Kwame established himself in the village, performing small miracles that dazzled the villagers. He healed wounds, eased pains, and even cured a severe fever that had plagued a young boy. His popularity grew, and soon many began to believe that he was indeed the true healer sent by the gods. One evening, Mama Nandi approached Kwame as he was preparing his portions. "Your knowledge is vast, young man, but there is more to healing than herbs and potions. Our bonds with the spirit is very sacred and not to be taken lightly." Instead of accepting Mama Nandi's guidance, Kwame smiled, a hint of malice in his eyes as he said, "Old woman, your time has passed. It is time for new ways and new knowledge. The spirits have chosen me, so it's time for you to make way for me." Immediately, Mama Nandi knew that something was wrong, but she could not pinpoint what it was, so she decided to consult their ancestors through a sacred ritual, seeking for their guidance. All the ancestors showed her was darkness surrounding Kwame. Quickly, she went to the king and the chiefs to warn them. "My king, my elders, I think we should be careful with this new healer. There is a heavy darkness surrounding him. I don't think he has good intentions for our people." Mama Nandi warned, but the king and the chiefs did not listen to her. "Mama Nandi, I thought you'd be grateful that the gods and our ancestors has chosen someone more knowledgeable to replace you," the king said to her. Kwame had stolen their hearts with the many magic he had performed around the village. The chiefs even mocked her, calling her old and jealous. As days turned into weeks, Kwame's influence grew. Mama Nandi's warning fell on deaf ears, and soon even those closest to her began to doubt her abilities. The village council decided to make Kwame the chief healer, sidelining Mama Nandi. One night, Mama Nandi had a vision. The gods showed her a dark shadow enveloping the valley. When she looked further, she saw that the dark shadow was emanating from Kwame. She saw suffering, deceit, and pain. Desperate and afraid, she tried to warn the villagers, but they accused her of jealousy and madness. Soon, Kwame's true intentions began to unfold. He was not just interested in being the healer, he wanted control. He started planting seeds of discord, turning villagers against each other, manipulating them to serve his own needs. He would strike the villagers with strange illnesses and then demand tributes of food, jewelries, and even lands before he would heal them. Mama Nandi, with the help of a few loyal villagers, decided to uncover Kwame's secrets. So they watched him closely, observing his every action. One night, they followed him into the forest, where they discovered him performing a dark, forbidden ritual, invoking malevolent spirits. Horrified, they realized that Kwame was using dark magic to deceive the villagers. They rushed back to the village to reveal the truth. However, Kwame, sensing danger, used his dark powers to cast a spell of fear and confusion over the village. The villagers, gripped by irrational fear, turned on each other, chaos reigning supreme. Mama Nandi, drawing on the last of her strength, confronted Kwame in the village square. "Your deceit ends now," she proclaimed, holding a sacred talisman that glowed with an ethereal light. Kwame laughed. "You think you outdated magic can stop me, old woman?" A fierce battle ensued, the air cracking with energy. Kwame's dark magic clashed with Mama Nandi's sacred powers, but Mama Nandi, weakened by age and the strain of her visions, was no match for Kwame's malevolent force. With a final devastating blow, Kwame knocked the talisman from her hand and sent her crashing to the ground. "See how she tries to curse all of you. She is the one who brings darkness upon us," he declared. The villagers, confused and fearful, believed Kwame's lies. The king stepped forward, his face grim. "Mama Nandi, you are banished from Mbingu. Leave now and never return." Some villagers, out of fear and anger, pounced on the woman and beat her until she was close to death. Bruised and defeated, Mama Nandi was cast out. She stumbled into the wilderness, her body weakened by the fight and the beating from the villagers. Days passed and her strength waned. On the brink of death, she was found by a young girl named Amina. Amina was a beautiful village girl from Nkava. She had a natural gift for healing, which was discovered when she unintentionally healed a boy. After she healed the boy, the people of Nkaba started bringing their sick ones to her, and she healed them all. So they revered her and praised her for her good work to her people. But her life took a dark turn when the king's son committed an abominable act. He forced himself on a maiden, resulting in the maiden taking her own life. After that, the prince of Nkaba was struck with a strange illness. The prince was brought to her, and the king ordered her to heal him. I can do nothing unless he confessed what he has done, Amina said to the king. The prince, however, maintained that he had no idea of what Amina was saying. The king promised to give Amina a third of his kingdom if she healed his son, but Amina insisted that the prince must confess his sin. The prince stubbornly maintained his innocence and eventually died. The grief-stricken king, unable to accept his son's wrongdoing, labeled Amina a witch and demanded her head. When Amina heard of the king's decree, she fled, living in exile ever since. She had been living in an abandoned hut at the boundary between Nkaba and Mbingo. Amina found Mama Nandi and carried her to the hut. She nursed her back to health using her knowledge of herbs and gentle care. A few days later, Mama Nandi regained consciousness. "Who are you, my child?" Mama Nandi asked weakly when she saw Amina. "I am Amina," she replied. "I saw you wounded and brought you here to treat your wounds." Mama Nandi touched the girl to thank her. Immediately, she sensed the girl's power and goodness. "I see the Spirit has blessed you, my daughter. May the gods keep you and always bless you," she prayed for her. After Mama Nandi recovered, she told Amina about Kwame and the doom he was about to bring to the Hidden Valley. "Let me teach you the ways of the herbs and the spirits so that together we can stop Kwame," Mama said to Amina. Months passed and the Hidden Valley became a shadow of its former self. Kwame's reign of terror only grew stronger with each passing day. Using his dark magic, he killed the king and declared himself the king. When the Prince Jabari challenged him, he imprisoned him. Using his dark magic, Kwame manipulated the minds of the village chiefs, making them mere puppets in his quest for power. The once peaceful village was now plagued by fear and despair. It was then that Kwame revealed his real intention for coming to the Hidden Valley. He was there to find the Tree of Eternity. The Tree of Eternity stood at the heart of the Hidden Valley, shrouded in mystery and legends. According to ancient tales passed down through generations, it was said to possess the power to grant immortality to whoever could find it and unlock its secrets. Kwame, driven by a relentless thirst for power and immortality, had heard whispers of the tree's existence and made it his sole purpose to find it. Using his dark magic and mind control, Kwame manipulated the villagers into serving his every whim in his quest for the Tree of Eternity. He sent them on perilous expeditions into the depths of the forest, searching for clues and ancient artifacts that would lead him to the tree's location. Many villagers perished in these dangerous missions, their lives sacrificed in Kwame's relentless pursuit of immortality. As months passed, Kwame's obsession with the tree only grew stronger. He delved deeper into forbidden rituals and dark magic, using his powers to pluck secrets from the minds of those unfortunate enough to cross his path. He stopped at nothing to achieve his goal, leaving a trail of destruction and despair in his wake. Meanwhile, Mama Nandi continued to train Amina, preparing her to succeed as the village healer. Despite the darkness that surrounded them, Mama Nandi remained hopeful that Amina would one day bring light back to the valley. The day came and Mama Nandi told Amina that the training was over. She was ready. That night, under the glow of the full moon, Mama Nandi performed a series of sacred rituals. With each incantation, she transferred her knowledge and power to Amina, ensuring that the legacy of healing would live on. As the last ritual concluded, Mama Nandi's breathing grew shallow and she closed her eyes in peaceful slumber. In the quiet of the night, she passed away, surrounded by the warmth of Amina's presence.